Welcome to AlbionTV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Wednesday, the 13th of May, 2020, and I am your host, the Shozen One, and joining me today, as always, the incomparable Bogle. How are you doing today, Bogle?
Doing good. We just came out of a ZVZ show. That was a lot of action. That was a lot of fun, and we even started the daily show 10 minutes early today just to get everything in we have content-wise for today. So it's, whew.
The content has been consistent and constant all day long. We've just had shows since I got up this morning, but I know that's not true. But we had a lot of work today, didn't we, Bogo?
Mm-hmm.
And we have more content for the audience today. We've got this top 10 countdown that we're going to do in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a city fight right after the show. So we have to get to this top 10 countdown as quick as possible, audience. I'm sorry for this. There's not going to be a lot of chit-chat. There's not going to be a lot of news. Last night, I met with KingMojo and Durateen, and we went over the top 10 guilds of season 8, which we like to do pretty much every season, Mojo and I thought this season it would be fun to bring in somebody from outside the Squawk Alliance, somebody with maybe a different opinion, somebody who had a good bit of chemistry with Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
And I let Durateen have his shot, and it was pretty good. We had a good time, and I think you guys will all really enjoy it. Bogle, is there anything you want to talk about in the next 2 minutes before we start playing this countdown?
No, I just want to mention that there was a patch today, a hotfix patch. If you are curious about the nodes there, look at the forums. We will be talking about that tomorrow, same as NDA patch notes or NDA testing notes as well. Tomorrow here on the Daily Show. But no, today is all about the Season 8 Top 10 with KingMojo and Mr. Durateen. And I haven't heard the interview yet, so I am very curious as well to hear this.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Bogle. I usually like to really heavily edit these things. I like to make sure everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This one I had to go with my memory and go, I'm pretty sure nobody said anything that'll get us kicked off of Twitch.
Uh-oh.
I do not have time to go through it with like a fork and comb to make sure that everything is out. So here's the deal. If you are easily offended by curse words or insults, or if you are easily offended, basically, you might not want to watch today's show. Yeah.
No nudity, chat. No nudity.
Well, a little bit.
Only in spoken word form.
Yeah. It's okay. I think we'll get it in through the censors. But yeah, it does get a little bit spicy. So without further ado, though, Bo, because I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking we have about 1 minute to get there and get everything done. Let's go ahead and play this top 10.
All right. Enjoy the interview, guys.
Welcome to Albion Live. I am here with another season countdown. We're going to look at the top 10 guilds of season 8, and I am joined by the great KingMojo and the infamous Durateen. How are you guys doing today?
I'm not bad. I like that intro. A lot of respect in that intro, Shozen. Thank you.
Well, I respect both of you guys very much for what you've done.
A little bit too much respect for Mojo, but you know. It's okay.
Well, you will get to say lots about his guild today. But first, we're going to talk about your guild because we're going to do this in reverse order. Okay. We're going to start with guild 10 here. Crimson Imperium. Yeah, I think we'll go the opposite way. We'll go from the bottom of the list to the top of the list, right?
All
right. So, starting with Crimson Imperium Reborn. How did they do this season, guys? Top 10, not too shabby.
Not bad. I mean, they started out pretty strong, I would say. They had a lot of support throughout the season, which allowed them to take control over a lot of territories, a lot of zones. And if you look at the map, their alliance holds a lot of zones. And also, people who share diplomacy with them also are profiting. So, the people working with PoE right now are profiting. They're all profiting.
Yeah, I'm obviously
they're
gonna be
expanding.
I'm obviously be very biased from my point of view because I am in CIR, and it's
That's what
a
I'm here
lovely
for.
guild, by the way, and we are recruiting, by the way. God bless. CIR has been it was a season of up and downs, honestly. I think that at the beginning of the season we started with a lot of momentum. We were the first to implement the battle mount, and the Jurassic Park, quote unquote,
Yep.
the large battle mounts. We were the first to implement that, and we innovated quite a bit, right? We saw a lot of meta shifts this season, moving away from like traditional fucking fuck my bad, moving away from the traditional bomb counter bomb type of zerging, right, ZVZ, to a more we started the more really heavy compositions, for example. But there were certain points that we did slow down a little bit. I think every guild does. And just something to say about the points that we actually have. In the PoE Alliance, or the PoE Coalition, whatever you want to call it right now, no guild is fully boosted, right? So if CIR thankfully got into 10th place, we got our gold ranking, it was 100% just normal growth, right? Just normal points from towers. We don't take all the castles. We didn't force our allies to boost us. We didn't even have crystal teams, honestly. That's just from like holding mages and just being a guild, just being an active guild.
Yeah, CIR is one of those guilds where you go, are they really only ranked 10 in, like, if we were to go, like, the power rankings of guilds, as opposed to season rankings? I think this might be one of the guilds that has the largest bump up if we went by power rankings instead of, like, season point rankings.
We don't hide it, right? We don't really care about the season rankings. Our way of playing Albion and our view on the game is very different from the people who are actually pushing the rankings. You look at like Sex Attacks or like other guilds that are actually actively trying to win. We never really committed to actually winning. We just want to have a fun play style. Our guild has a lot of PvE players, a lot of gatherers, a lot of people that do other things besides just straight up ZVZing. And with the way that Queen worked this season, we pretty much just had to have that ZVZ presence. So I'm happy about our rank, even if we didn't really push for it. I'm happy about it.
I don't agree with the fun playstyle, but they get the job done,
Well, they definitely got the job done this season. Very impressive. And again, I think their ranking belies how strong this guild is. I think of them as a top 3 guild in the game. And you don't always see the top guilds really going for points. And this has been a theme we've seen for quite a while, that a lot of teams will, or guilds, will try to give somebody else their points, or even push for somebody else to get something that is more valuable to them, so they can have a type of control over another guild by helping them in a way get one of their goals. So if CIR's goal isn't to get the season points, it can help someone else achieve that goal by getting its own goal accomplished too, which is something else, more along the lines of empire building.
Negotiation skills.
Yeah, they're more interested in controlling the map than they are the points, and that's very interesting. Now, we said a lot of nice things about them. Who are we really talking about here? What are some of the members that we should give a shout out to? What is the leadership core of CIR that you want to give some props to for the incredible job they did this season?
Obviously, Syndic. I think it's night and day, right? The difference between CIR when Syndic came back to the game and when he wasn't playing. I think that's no one, you can love, you can hate Syndic, but he's one of the most intelligent people that I've played with, and that's saying quite a bit. He's very diplomatic, he's very smart, and he's very deliberate. Like you see, like a lot of GMs today will just be like the typical warlord type, right? Syndic's very deliberate about what he does, and besides him, we have an amazing logistics team. Cyrix, Ruffles. I'm gonna forget a lot of people here, so I apologize, boys. My bad. There's other callers as well. Flammy stepped up. He grew so much during the season, and just normal members. That we had like people that were in the guild and left. Like you have like people like Farchi, people that Bish that went to Elevate, and people that really contribute. Like Kicking Machine. How can I forget Kicking Machine? Kicking Machine straight up hard carried our Zerg for like 2 months. So, but overall, it's much more of a group effort in the guild in CIR than it is like individual people standing out.
Okay.
I mean, to
Interesting.
be fair to what their team was saying, they did start a lot of the metas, like the heavy battle mount, heavy melee. So
No,
they were
absolutely.
pretty innovative this season.
Yeah, you have to give them a lot of credit. Even before the season started, we saw them innovating in the ZVZs and really changing the way things were done. As soon as Queen launched, we saw a new ZVZ meta, and they were largely responsible for it. They were willing to spend more on these battle mounts than anybody else, and they showed that not only, it's not just coins. They're worth something there. You use them right, they can win you a ZVZ. And now people won't ZVZ without them. You have to prepare.
Mojo's one of the very few callers that still actually calls without a battle map.
Oh, yeah. As an individual on the ground, yes. A lot of shot callers will ride a battle mount for the safety. You're right.
100%.
All right. But we need to move on now. Let's talk about somebody who was doing very well at the beginning of the season. We have RAQ, who was an early leader in the season, but sort of fell off towards the end. The last third of the season was not too kind to RAQ.
Yeah. So what I know about RAC, about its up and down is basically, so RAC started super strong with a super strong alliance. They had Take Care, they had RAC Target, Last Warn, they had a couple other guilds, Sancta Inquisita. So they had a bunch of strong guilds. Their alliance was called 1941, and they were doing super good. And when they were pressured by Squad for the beginning of the season, eventually it didn't work out for their alliance, and they had some like in-house fighting.
Yeah,
So,
like just to compliment what Joe said, they started up super strong. Like these guys got off the gate, and they were one of the few guilds that when you looked at it like a zone, because right now you look at the reads in the map, and you'll know those guilds it's owned by a certain alliance or something, right? But when you looked at like what RAC owned, it was just a massive block.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, they owned the West. They owned the West. It was not the Northwest. It was not the Southwest. It was not just the things right around 9 o'clock West. It was the West.
This is they started very well, but just like Mojo said, the second that an alliance gets pressured, right, and you don't have very stable leadership on an alliance level, and people start to point fingers and play the blame game, that does affect the guild. That affects morale. And you can see RAC was a guild that always had 300 people. Always. Now they're down to 188. But I think that now that Pliz even rage quit for a little bit, but now that he's back, I think they're back on track. They made a pretty strong alliance with Shiro. I think they're getting back to like their roots, right? Of playing in that Russian time zone, not having to wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning to do, other CDCs. And I think they're back to enjoying the game.
Yeah, fighting for other people isn't always as enjoyable as it can be to fight for yourself. And getting the Russian community together has really... I'm very impressed with what Shiro's been able to do, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I guess we should probably talk about Blue Army and Articulo Mortis, as Blue Army did come in 8th. This is a little bit lower than we've seen Blue Army come in the past, but they still did quite well for the season, as I don't think getting first place themselves with the goal. I think Mojo, you can tell us, what was your goal this season? I thought it was to get Sex with X #1.
I mean, look, man, like if you paid attention to Reddit and things like that, or your show, pretty much the spotlight was on Squad this whole season, on Blue Army especially, but of course Squad. And everybody knew that Squad was going to start super strong this season, right? Like, I don't think anybody had doubts about that. So it's exactly what happened on release when we made Money Guild. It's like we took the best parts of the map too early, to the point where you're just maintaining at that point. You understand?
Yeah. There's no winning to be done. All you can possibly do is lose at that point. You've reached out as you've gotten the best prize you possibly can, and from that point on, it's just how do I keep my grip on this without letting somebody else have this prize?
Exactly. So
I think go ahead, my bad.
No, I was just gonna say that's a boring play style. So that's why we switched it up after the season. But that play style didn't really fit us. it worked out because we got to help Alliance with their goals, so it was nice. But like you just said before, playing for other people isn't always the most fun play style. So, yeah.
All right, fair enough. I think that Blue Army got their season points very passive, right? Realistically, because Blue Army did an amazing job of, like Mojo said, securing key objective key zones at the very beginning. But if you look at the overall wars that the squad, or I think the wars, whatever you want to call it, fought, there were never zones that Blue Army was in 100% danger, right? They were always fighting over zones that were like tertiary guilds, like quote unquote buffer guilds.
Yeah, it always seemed like they were fighting over somebody else's territory.
Exactly. So the Blue Army, like, even if we won the fight, let's say like PoE, we fought squad. It didn't matter. Even if we won the fight, we weren't directly taking points away from Blue Army. We'd be taking points away from from Black Order, or Cresser, from other guilds, right? So Blue Army was able to, even though they dropped down in terms of their activity towards the end of the season, it didn't really matter because they had just passively just had so much income and so many free points from the rest of the season that what it is. And also, Blue Army specifically, and Demon Sector too, but it goes to show you the strength that those T8 territories actually did, right? Because as soon as Blue Army got that free T8, they took Derek's T8 territory.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Derek was relieved of his territory, no one was taking that off because no one was going to be killing those T8 guards, right? So it just goes to show you, like, the leveling system, the crystals. It just showed a whole new. Crystals aren't just about the loot. Like, the leveling, the open world presence that you got because of the crystal wins was massive, and I think that really helped carry squad this season.
Yeah, that was cool. The like for a guild to level up the Terry to level 8,
Mm-hmm.
and they were bragging about it, and then the next day we just came in and swooped it.
Just came in and toink, take it, yoink.
Our boys,
And we're going to
boys
see
had a
more
lot
of that next season, don't you guys think, as we're changing the way that these towers work now?
What are they changing?
Oh, the points. So every day, some of the points are being siphoned off of the towers. And those points are held until the very last day before invasion for each invasion cycle. So on the very last day, which would actually be invasion day, I believe, a percentage of the points will be given to the owner of that tower. And it's the person who owns it on the last day, not the person who earned it for the full 30 days.
That's nice. I like that.
So it's a little bit of backstabbing, as they said. So, hope, like, we can look at the examples we could have from you guys in squad where you saw for a period of time Aggressor and Black Order like fighting each other for points. And that's where you could see like Shiro going, okay, I'm going to steal Aggressor's stuff so I can get these points that I've been trying to snake out from under them silently. I'll make my move today. That's where you would see one of those moves instead of, bringing in PoE and Hammer and Sickle.
Right.
Sorry, I started to pull up the Band-Aid there.
Hello.
God bless. God bless.
Shows it coming in with the left hook.
Well, actually, here's another body blow for you. So, actually, one of the things I wanted to notice about Blue Army being down in 8th, in the beginning of the season, you had all of Squawk 1 through 5 in the rankings. And because of that, like Durateen said, that passive income, it wasn't something that really lasted throughout the whole season. So without some kind of major push at the end, like we saw from Hammer and Sickle, we saw from Final Order. Without that kind of push, you weren't going to be able to hold everybody in the top 5. And yeah, it was great passive income for the season, but it wasn't something that would be sustainable to the top 5 when other people could push with those double point periods, and just what a huge impact Crystal League had this season. I mean, it was just huge.
It could have been even worse. It could have been. There were some very greasy things that we'll talk about later, I guess, about the Crystal.
That was some pretty interesting things.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But let's Shozen knows about this, but we'll get there.
Oh, I know. I know quite a bit. It seems. It was amazing. We will get there. But first, we need to talk about Last Warn, somebody I don't know a whole lot about. I believe this is one of the Brazilian guilds, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's about all I know about them.
So that's basically the old AW Gaming.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mark and those guys.
And I'm gonna let Durateen talk about that one because he has close ties with his Brazilian boys.
True.
So,
Very true, very true. Last Warren is pretty much we got all of the good things that AEW Gaming was, and Mark was a good guy, yeah, but he was very inconsistent. And Africa is like stability in person, right? So Last Warren, they got that structure, the whole system, the whole core from AEW Gaming, and just made a new guild, rebranded. They left, they detached themselves from Derek, which is a smart move,
Okay.
and they made their own. They went to do their own thing. It's one of the if it's not right now, I think they're a bit better than Sex with X. Obviously, during the season, Sex with X was by far one of the strongest guild, the strongest guild in my opinion. But Last One was always there. The guild that it's a very big community, it's a very big guild, lots of players.
it's huge.
And yeah, it's massive. And the cool thing about Last One, right? Whereas other people, will drop to avoid the debuff, right? Last One consistently pulls 160, 150, 180 players, and they don't drop people from guild. They don't have people in all guilds or secondary guilds to hide from the debuff. They embrace it because in their mind they're in the same guild. They should be wearing the same tag.
I like that.
So yeah, props off to Last One. I mean, they fought. They did pretty well. Like obviously, the thing about Last One that hurt them is the same thing that hurt Iraq, right? It's as soon as you don't have stable leadership in the alliance, and the alliance starts infighting, you stop fighting people that are trying to kill you currently.
Mhm.
So Last One was having to fight. I think it was Iraq versus Insancta, while they were also having to fight like Squad, and people were just beating up on them. So that will hurt the guild, obviously. It's like there's a point where there's too many enemies, and you can't beat every zone at the same time. So yeah, but they're good people. I much love Last One.
Well, they did pretty well for
Wow.
fighting everybody.
They did, definitely. And that just goes to show, it's a very large player base. It's very dedicated, and it's a very it's a good guild. Good guild. Good
Excellent. Yeah, I've been following them all season long. They've been fighting everywhere, all over the map. You never know where they're going to show up. They just seem to show up where there's content. And that's what I've noticed about them. And I'm really looking forward to see what they do going forward. It's some good stuff. So let's move on to a guild we all know very well, Conflict. So their GM is a baker. He makes bread, and that's all I have to say about Conflict.
I'll start. No, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna start this off. Yeah, I'm gonna start this off. Listen, Conflict is the only guild that can literally say they got crystal passively, because Conflict doesn't have a Zerg. I have the videos to prove
They have
this.
17 strong members, led by the Great Lemmy.
No, they have mad people, right? The problem is these kids will show up to a ZVZ, 30% debuff, and you look and you're like, where's the Conflict buff? They're hiding in a dungeon. Like, where are these kids, right? And as soon as like a battle mount shows up, they will converge like piranhas, right? And they're all in fucking ganking gear with fucking potions. It's literally a Zerg of ganks. I swear to God, it's amazing. It actually works. That's a scary thing, right? And this actually works. People meme on Conflict. People, I obviously do as well, but like this carried Squad in so many fights. Because when you're having these large fights, right, where people are returning from like adjacent zones to hideouts, and you have a 30, like that's 80 people in full gank gear, not letting you return to the zone, like what do? What do? The other team's getting reinforcements, you're not. So props to Conflict. Do they deserve the ranking? No, you don't. You don't. You got care about Blue Army. Daddy Mojo's here, but congratulations nonetheless. God bless you. God bless.
Are you going to be showing up later today to take them out of their hideout?
100%. Listen, 100%. 100%. Listen, I have a coalition of the willing, ready to drop lit liquors onto Bog.
Okay.
Hey, can we give a shout out to Starsy, because he's probably the most composed, most centered GM in the motherfucking game by far.
Yes, I have to say I've seen the way that he deals with stress, and it's very constructive. He seems to bake bread and then put the name of the person or guild or whoever it is he's upset with on the bread, like in the dough, and then he puts it into the oven and he bakes away. Yeah, he eats the animosity.
Like Majin Buu,
just
he turns his enemies into chocolates.
And I just want to put this is a very interesting coincidence. Another very respectable Albion gamer is also a baker. His name is Cargera.
You're talking about the great Cargera. Yes, yes.
Cargera, yes. It may be cool. And listen, I think we have a trend here. If you're a baker, Albion has great things for you. I'm just saying.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe we could have the great Albion Bake Off.
Oh, I believe. Yo, Karg, you owe me a cake.
Peanut butter cake? I hear it's peanut butter cake.
It is a peanut butter cake.
Yeah.
And it has to have a turret with a hard side on it.
See,
I'd wait 2 years, Karg. 2 years.
I'd ask for one, but I'm scared. Like, I don't think I would get the good peanut butter. Let's move on to Hammer and Sickle. Another Russian guild. We have a ton of Russian guilds represented up here today. What do you guys want to say about Hammer and Sickle? I know they're part of your PoE extension group here, Durateen. What do you want to say about these guys? Always disrespected, never getting what they deserve, always somehow number 2 to PoE. Wow, what is this about?
Well, that's not
Number
true.
2. That's not true at all.
Look at Shozen. Look at Shozen.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. PoE is partnership equals for PoE is partnership equals for a reason. It's not a slave coalition. It's not like Oops. It has nothing to do like anything like Derek runs.
Okay.
It's a place where we have equality. Every single guild that was associated with PoE this season, we boosted to at least gold. Every single guild. And Hammer and Sickle, when they asked us to be
did
boosted
Sun get gold?
we're down. Sun got gold. Yes,
Okay,
they did.
okay.
Hey, but Sun did not only get gold. They are technically the season 8 winners. So put a little bit of respect on Frank's name, yeah. A little bit of respect on Frank's name.
Respect.
But MacTap's an amazing person, an amazing GM. I think it's very few people that have the mental fortitude they need to deal with guild issues for as long as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's Mojo, but Mojo still has help from like Perel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like supporting cast. MacTap almost single-handedly. It's amazing. It's really amazing. I have much love for Hammer and Sickle, Rocky, Navrin. There's a lot of really good people there, a lot of really good players. And even though they've had the up and downs, they've had their internal beef with the Russians, and it's a wild community. The Russian community is a wild community.
I love it, man.
But I love it. Yeah, same. But they've played like while there's a beef between PoE and Squad, CIR and Blue Army. There's always that beef between Black Quarter and Hammer and Sickle, and MacTap and Shiro. So it's just one of the cool little storylines that we have in the game.
Yeah, we almost saw like an alliance between Squawk and PoE just to put a little bit of pressure on that. How do you want to say that? Because you had was it Aggressor that was working with Hammer and Sickle?
Let's wait till we get to that guild. I will spill the beans.
Okay.
When we get to that guild,
okay.
I will snitch.
All right,
but last thing on Hammer and Sickle, they're they. I mean, one thing we got to commend PoE for is that like Durateen said, like a lot of these guilds were in Oops before, right? Like Hammer and Sickle, Scoretel, they were in Oops before, and they weren't treated as well in Oops as they were treated in PoE, right? I think that's fair to say.
Okay, for sure.
So, partnership equals, not exactly, but close enough.
Close enough. It's close enough. God bless.
More equal than donate or leave.
Yes,
Okay.
A lot more equal to done early.
Yeah.
All right. So you're saying that if an entire guild you wouldn't take all of their gear for your shot caller, is what you're saying?
Oh, nah, that wouldn't happen.
No.
Okay.
That would no.
Okay. So moving on to a less than equal guild, Final Order. They're not a partnership of equal, are they?
They're a partnership.
They're not a partnership. Yeah, they're solo as fuck. You didn't see the videos.
Of course, I've seen the videos. There.
No. Hold on one second. When we say they're solo, are we including? We're ignoring all the times they handheld with like 30 different guilds.
With Arch. And
Well, they okay. Let's be clear. There's a difference between being part of a group and then using other people to your advantage for specific moments in time. And I would say that Final Order is definitely still on its own, but it definitely works with other people when it's advantageous to them to defend themselves, because everybody knows it's hard to fight 1,000 people. And many times 1,000 people have come out against Final Order. So
and have you seen Violence, bro? Yo,
those guys are good. Hey, the Polish are doing work.
Cool. That's a wild third.
Look, I'll say, I don't really want to talk shit about FO or any of the guilds on the list because it's not about that today, right? We're just talking like from a guild perspective.
Celebration.
How good they are, right? So Final Order, really good GVG teams. Actually, not a bad Zerg at all.
They've done some amazing Zergs. They okay. I've seen them lose some of the most incredible fights I've seen ever because they have fought against incredible odds. And I've always enjoyed watching Mojo do shot calling because he's willing to weave his team in between enemies, right? And he can keep his group together as they weave in and out of other groups and get the best engagement possible. And I saw that similar type of behavior from Derek and Final Order this season, and it was very good to see. Unfortunately, it was always when it was like 100 versus 400.
I mean, I saw some of the fights. I think you're giving them a little too much credit in terms of the numbers because both sides, like from the info I got, is both sides have a lot of support.
Later in the season, yeah. Okay, yes, later in the season, you're going to say that you could say that Final Orders had some much better backup, but when you look at the mid part and the early part of the season, they were definitely
early
up
part of
against
the
it.
season. Early part of the season, these homies were teaming with Fricks and with Surf, and they came to PoE land, and they got pimp slapped back to Fort Surf.
Yeah, and don't forget, like, look, what I was gonna say before. So, strong GVC team, strong Zerg, whatever. Their leadership got better since they introduced a second GM like Kizara.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of took the BA formula there, and then it improved their guild, right? So. They improved their guild a lot from Money Guild, and it's working good. You can see from the ranking, and even if you take away the ranking, they're still strong. What I was trying to say is that they said they were presenting themselves as a solo guild for a long time, and your argument to that is, it was for certain situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the beginning, they were working with Arch from the beginning.
Okay.
Right? And then from the middle, they were working with Last Sworn and a couple other guilds to protect their hideout, which is fine, right? Like you said, like that's like honestly protecting your hideout. If you're gonna bring help, that's 100% okay, you know. But at some point, you need to stop presenting yourself as a solo guild, and that's it. But that just as a guild by itself, they're super strong. So there's no need to attach yourself to an identity like solo or non-hand holders. You know what I mean? Like those are words that people are gonna throw around no matter what. They just need to be comfortable as just being Final Order. You know, sometimes they get help, sometimes they don't. They're still strong. It doesn't matter.
And listen, I'm probably gonna get kicked for the following. Yeah, so listen, yo, hit me up afterward to send the kicks. God bless. But I love Derek. Derek is. If we take the whole package, right? You know what you're getting into when you join a Derek guild.
Yeah.
You know there's the rage. But I don't think I've ever seen one person more committed to his guild and his players than Derek. I respect that.
Very committed. And to the game. He's very committed to everything he does. I think the guy is probably just one of those people who puts 100% into whatever he does. We're lucky enough that he's putting 100% into Albion.
I have a massive amount of respect for Derek. I like Final Order as a guild, even though like they've had a lot of like members join, members leave. I like Final Order as a guild. I think it's still a very competent guild, very competent players, a lot of old school players. They're definitely one of the stronger, like man for man, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can put like 100 people, boom, and 100 people from a different guild or a different like group. I think they're their favorites the majority of the time. I think they're a great guild.
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
obviously flaws. There's flaws, but there's flaws in every guild.
Every guild has flaws, absolutely.
Yeah. But the fact that they were able to like claw and grab their way up to the rank they got.
Yo, they had a strong final push.
They did. They were 6,000 points. They moved up, 4 points in the final weekend, and they could have gone a fifth one and taken third if it wasn't for 6,000 points. If they had started the grind a little bit early.
And they lost their crystal.
Yeah.
But I respect it. God bless.
Yeah, they put it all on the final day, though. You got to give that to them. They put it all on the final day. So, and they had an extra team that didn't use its T9 token.
Tokens, yeah.
They could have. All they had to do was show up, and they would have gotten that 6,000 points.
Yep.
So,
Good pick.
interesting maneuver, but lots of credit to Final Order. Lots of history with that guild. Lots of really good players. I like what they're doing. I think Derek has an absolutely fantastic Twitch stream. You guys should check it out if you want to watch a good stream, especially during Crystals. It's very good. He usually streams with comms. And afterwards, if you have questions, he's usually willing to answer questions. It depends on sometimes what happens during the match. There's been a few times I've what.
It depends who was his healer, bro. If you have like
true.
No, don't go. If you see Rabani there, don't even speak in the chat. Ooh,
But all kidding aside, great guild, really doing well. We really like what they're doing, and they have an amazing 5v5 team for Crystals. You should check it out, and the Twitch stream is pretty good. Let's talk about Shiro now. Boy.
I love Shiro.
Let's see. Does anybody have? Let's see. Do we want to do this like a Shiro conversation?
Yeah, why not? Because
Listen, Bliad. I will.
No, you do one line. You do one line. You do one line. You send that line. You send that line. Then you send one more line. I talk to you in one line.
Oh, yeah, what he's writing.
Yeah. Now, listen, I think the key moment. I think what best describes Black Order, Shiro, not aggressor, but Black Order and Shiro and the season. The beginning of the season, right? This is the early days, the PoE squad war. Everything was wow. There's a brave new land. Everyone's bringing battle mounts.
Mm-hmm.
My homie Shiro's in the middle of the zone.
Oh God, you're gonna talk about
PoE is zoning in. PoE zoning in, right? PoE zoning in. And Shiro's like, oh Mojo, okay, you cover me. I go cigarette, okay? Okay. Doesn't reply. PoE full zone. What are we fighting? Somebody zone in? Yo, this Shiro on a mammoth
alone?
Oh hell nah. So we start killing Shiro, and this dude comes back when he's just dismounted and starts screaming for fucking Black Order to zone in. So all of Black Order, not listening to Mojo, obviously they listen to Shiro because he's freaking out and rushing. They zone in by themselves without the rest of the squad. Shiro dies. Black Order gets wiped. And that was one of the crucial wins at the beginning of the season. We got fucked for the next week after, but that fight itself.
You raised his ire. That was actually when he came back. That was what really brought him back.
True.
Like you saw him being kind of inconsistent that first week, and he would show up to some CTAs and he wouldn't show up to others. But after that happened, the guy who did not like having people talk shit about him.
Bro,
he was
after that, it was like 0-0 UTC sure was there. 0-3 UTC sure was there. 21 UTC sure was there. I'm like, yo, does this homie sleep? What the fuck?
Dude, I love Shiro because dude, he is, I don't know, he's such a turbo nerd, and he's so funny, man. He's just so funny. Like he's just the type of person you can't hate. Like there's some people in this game you can't hate.
Yeah, I've had such weird experiences with him that if I was to say somebody else did this, I think it'd be very hard for me to like some of these people. But for some reason, it just seems so goofy and innocent from him.
Yeah,
and it's like when he's cursing you out, it's very hard to take it seriously. Like it's like very true. Don't feel like there's hate or animosity in what he's saying. You just feel like he's saying words to you. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, man. Sometimes it's just funny listening to him curse you out. It's like, no, dude, you just did 5 minutes of cursing me out, and for some reason, I'm just smiling the whole time, and I'm trying to hold in a giggle, and I don't want to giggle at you because I feel like if I giggle at you while you're cursing me out, you'll continue. And there's some other things I'd like to get done today.
Dude, like with Shiro's like, he's probably one of the biggest personalities we have in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really glad he came back.
Yeah, and yeah, me too. I was gonna say that. Like, I'm so happy he's just playing. Like I'm just happy he's playing, bro. And his guild, whenever he puts his mind on something, like it just happens. He makes it happen.
True.
So whenever, he's always been like that. He's always gonna be like that. But he's a super weird dude, strange dude. Like 90% of my boys don't even know why I'm friends with him. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
yeah,
they really don't understand. Like,
I'm sure
he's
the
a strange
SBI
guy.
is listening to me and going, "Why do you keep sending us information from Shiro? You're like, come on, like, why? What's
Yeah.
your obsession with his feedback? It's good feedback. The guy gives good feedback. Like, he might be really over the top and he might be hard to deal with sometimes, but if you listen to the guy and you get through the weird noise, like the noise that he's going to send at you of cursing and just
Very, very intelligent.
very
man.
toxic words.
Shiro-
He's very
Shiro's
intelligent.
a-
He's very well thought out, and he's interesting. There are just some people in this world who are more interesting than others, and he's one of them. He's one of my top people in the game, honestly. And
Yeah, me too.
it's
Along with
not
Wade.
because I really like him. Like, it's not a personal thing. It's I like that he's in the game. Do you know what I mean? I like having that level of character in the game. He reminds me of Waded or Wadded, however you want to pronounce it there.
Waded,
yeah, he was a incredible personality. Now, he might not have been the most enjoyable person to be around 24/7, but if you could spend like an hour with him on a weekend, maybe one of the most entertaining weekends you could possibly have as a human being.
Well,
But yeah, and there's a lot of people like that here in Albion, and I would love to see these characters return. And I'm glad that we get to keep Shiro. He's fun to have around, and I hope he does very well next season. Let's talk about another one of the classic characters of Albion in the Great Skuz.
Before we move on.
Oh.
I'm just looking at my the season rankings right now, right?
Mhm.
And I just saw something very funny I wanted to share. So Final Order's alliance is called Sen, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Sen, yeah. Have you seen what the actual alliance tag is?
Me to elevate.
Yeah.
Send me to elevate, boys. God bless.
Yeah, Bogle
God bless.
keeps asking, what came first, the guild or the alliance?
God bless. Send me to elevate, boys. Send me to elevate. God bless. I respect it. Thank you.
That's
Dan.
a good. That's
You
actually
made
a
me
good
laugh
one.
today. That's a good one.
So have you guys
Yeah,
sent
please.
anybody to elevate this week?
Yes. Too many.
Yeah? A little bit of duck
Fish,
duck
come
goose
back.
going on?
Fish, listen. I need
Hey,
I need
elevate.
fish.
It's looking like the dream team. If you look
They're
at
doing
player
good.
quality,
If
that's
they
the
can
dream
keep it
team right
together, if they can keep that group together, it'd be impressive.
Very strong guild.
Yeah.
Listen, listen, elevate. I need back Fish. I need back Barb. Maybe not Barb. I need back Wally. And I need back E-Beam. All right. Deliver.
Yeah, there's a
deliver,
couple.
come.
There's a couple people I'd like back too. Except you can keep Kamani though.
Now the question is do you have a longer list of people that you want back from them, or a list that you're happy they took?
I mean, listen.
Nah, I don't mind.
In the recruitment process, they say you have to have been kicked from your group. You can't just spontaneously leave.
You have to have been kicked from at least one guild.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Listen, real talk though. We're obviously this isn't about Elevates, about last season, the people that actually showed up.
Mhm.
Elevates for season 9. But a lot of potential, a lot of hype. I hope it works out because we need more people to kill. Delicious.
Okay. All right.
8.3. They all go in 8.2, 8.3. Woo. I'm ready.
So let's talk about a guild that no longer exists.
Excellent. Blue Army. I mean,
Aggressor.
He's so stupid.
My bad.
So
It
stupid.
slipped out. It slipped out.
Blue Army still exists.
In my heart.
You just have to look for it.
At Marlock Portal. Right
Yeah, I was going to say, go find a nice royal zone and you'll be fine.
No, not the Royal Zone. Yo, real talk. You're like an hour from now, you run into Marlock Portal. I guarantee you will see Mojo and Litlicker there. I guarantee. But let's please. We can continue. I'm not
It's
that
moving on. Skuz Cabell. Who I don't believe is even in the guild anymore.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's in BA.
Yeah, he's in BA. So maybe we could... Somebody want to tell me why Aggressor fell apart at the end of the season? What happened here?
Oh, me, pick me. Yo, me.
All right,
Yeah,
the bald kid in the back.
Listen. You have to keep in mind, yeah. Everything's my boy, but 75% of what he says,
It's true.
you discard that at the end of the
Nah,
section.
listen.
I mean,
I'm gonna drop wisdom. Everyone, all the spectators, AlbionTV, the people that do not know about Aggressor, the people who do not know about Basketball.
everything's good for entertainment, you know.
People that are fresh into the game, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much what happened was, what happens when you put a rat, and then you make the right hand another little rat, and you make the third up another little rat, right? You get like a little rat posse. So what happened was, Aggressors getting all these points. They're growing. They got the Spanish community on board. Cool, because they're a Spanish guild. Aggressors is fundamentally a Spanish guild.
Yep.
But then half their members are French, so it's the Spanish plus French guild. And then they merge. Oh yeah, trust me, the plot thickens.
Yeah, they were a little bit international there.
They're becoming an international guild, and they just get stronger. Like, these kids start going in a roll, right? Aggressors showing up to CVZ with like 80, 90 people. I'm getting run down. At the beginning of the season, the aggressor flank when they hit PoE, it was like
Well, usually in the beginning of the season, when the aggressor flank hit PoE, it was targeting Blue Army.
Yeah, There were a lot of questionable friendly fire.
There's a lot of friendly fire.
A lot of questionable things.
Yeah, oh my god.
But listen, as the season progressed, right? Like, these people, they band together in a way that I think very few GMs can make their guild rally around an objective. Like, Skullskull straight told his guild, listen, at the end of the season, okay, we're going to disband the guild over, okay, and I'm going to take all the money. But we're still going to go get Crystal. We're going to get number 2. And they did. Somehow he convinced his guild to rally around him, and they pushed, and they kept pushing, they kept massing, and against all odds, congratulations, Aggressor. You surprised me. By the end of the season, it was a legitimate guild, up until they died, But for the time they were alive, very, very strong guild. A lot of very different personalities, got a lot of different people from different places. They got a very good mix, and they did work. What can you say, right? They did work. They got number 2.
Yeah.
But the best part about this guild, right? And I'm gonna speak in a second, Mojo. Trust me. At the end of the season, there's a little story that happened, right? So there's this man called Lord Varys, and he had a dream.
Yeah, he had a dream.
You know what?
He had a big dream.
I think Aggressor. We're closing the guild. Wouldn't it be cool if we closed as number 1, even though we agreed to boost Sec with X?
Yep.
Yo, what's that? Yo, look, yo. So he slithers into the PMs, right? He's like, yo, listen, homie. Yo, listen, Durateen. I got a little proposition for you, okay? Little proposition. You take up this Black Order castle, we go somewhere else, good for me, good for you. It could happen. So, we're like, internal drama and squad. We're getting dunked by squads, right? We're getting shit on. God bless. So, Mojo, he will tell you about this in a second. Mojo literally put Black Order and Aggressor into the same alliance, so they physically could not beef with each other. So they physically could not kill each other, right? And that's the first drama. The second drama, I'll let Mojo explain the second drama about the GVG part.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh, yeah, the end of the season.
Yeah, this end of the season drama was amazing. I want to know what happened though. How before we get to the end of the season, this is the part where Durateen can come in here a little bit. When the first movements of Black Order versus Aggressor, when they were doing that, we saw Hammer and Sickle come in on the side of Aggressor. What was that about? Because that looked like it was going to cause some real drama in the Squawk House.
Listen, baby, in Russia, all hate all. That's all I'm going to say. And in Russia, all hate all. So Skullskull brought up to the Hammer and Sickle with like a little pot of gold. He's like, listen, all we have to do is just kill Shiro. Delicious. And Mactub like, oh, okay, we go. So Mactub just started just engage on Black Order. And they actually fought each other. If I'm mistaken, they actually fought like Black Order and Aggressor. They actually straight ZVC'd each other. Times,
like for a week. It was a full week. It was like nonstop for a week. It was the best content we had in the game.
It's literally Aggressor versus Black Order, and Blue Army just sitting in the zone, just like, yo, who do we help here? Like, I don't even know.
And then Hammer and Sickle showed up out of nowhere.
And then Blue Army started helping, Black Order. Yeah. Then Mojo put him in the same guild, beef with Squash. But I think the interesting part is, Mojo hit him with that wisdom about the GVZ at the end.
Yeah, so what happened at the end of the season? I heard Lord Varys came back into the scene, waving that money around.
Yeah, so I mean, just to finish off what everything was saying, like the way Squad operates is a lot different than like how PoE operates, right?
For sure.
Or other alliances. So if you look at our embassy channel, it's probably the juiciest content in the game, juicier than trash talk Discord. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's always some stupid beef, right? Like for example, the beef you were talking about, Scuss and Shiro. Like they were going at each other all the time, every single day. Artista was jumping in, Conflict was jumping in. Everyone was just throwing shots at each other, and that's been like that for like 2 years. The squad has always been like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like people like when shit like that happens, I just tell them, listen, just fight over it. Like if you guys want this so bad, if you want this castle so bad, then you fight over it. You know, like that's always my solution. You want something, you fight over it. So they ended up fighting over it, you know, and they both have a lot of heart. Like Scuzz has a lot of heart. He's a fucking crazy Spanish bull. Shiro's a crazy Russian, and you know the egos are there, the passion's there. So there's gonna be good fights. So these motherfuckers were fighting each other. But like the thing about Scuzz, which leads us to the next event, right? The thing about Scuzz is he's done some questionable decisions in the past, right?
Yeah.
Delicious.
And people questioned his loyalty. People questioned his commitment to long-term projects and things like that. And the thing is, he's always been my boy, right? Scuzz has always been my boy. So I always defended him when it came to, like, I saw a change in him, or at least I thought I saw a change in him. And he became a lot more committed to certain projects. So I always give him the benefit of the doubt in the past year or so. And a lot of people were coming at me. At the end of the season, the points were looking super close, right? Number 1 and number 2, if you look at the points right now, they're 200K away from each other. But at the end of the season, it was like 100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 100,000 is
It's doable in a
you put
crystal
two
league.
crystal teams. You
Yeah.
put 2 crystal teams right there. Boom, you're back in. You know, you're in position. So people were coming at me from Sex with X. People were coming at me from BA, and just asking. They were questioning it. They were like, "Yo, is it true what I'm hearing?" And I was like, "What are you hearing?" So there was rumors that Aggressor was gonna steal the number 1 position from Artista, because Artista were still sharing points. We were still sharing the points. We were allocating the points to guilds based on like what we wanted to secure. So we wanted to secure 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And Artista was still giving away points. And the problem came when Varus started to hire GVG teams, some of the top GVG teams who could fight level 9 towers on the last day, and eventually surpass number 1 Artista. Which, if it would have happened, it probably would have been like the biggest betrayal in Albion history.
It would have been up
True.
there. It would have been right up there with Robin Hooders leaving Money Guild.
Oh,
No, but that wasn't. That's not. You know, like a few 100 million worth of gear. You know, that's.
I know.
that's
Like-
delicious.
Yeah, but this.
That's
Imagine if you work. Imagine if you work for a whole season, right?
Yeah.
Every morning,
Every morning getting up
afternoon,
knowing you're
every
getting
night.
number 1 because everybody in Squawk told you would.
Exactly, and you're just going off people's word, man. You're going off people's word, and then at the end, it just gets swiped. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine how nasty that would have been. But you know, a lot of people would have loved to see that shit happen.
I would have loved to see it.
Yes, I would. Mm-mm.
But like I said, some of us gave Scuzz the benefit of the doubt, and he actually ended up coming through. So I'm happy I defended him.
He had
didn't
the
make me.
Kid Lord Varus to take all the money out of the guild. But
Oh yeah,
he
he kicked.
And kicked
Lord
Lord
Varys out
Varys, a couple other people.
And
He
the
took the
GVG
money.
teams.
Yeah, he kicked all the GVG teams that were purchased
And-
by Lord Varys. Their GVG
And
teams.
he
that were-
allied Artista. So they couldn't possibly beat them to number 1.
Yep.
So that's a man of his word right there. That's a man of his word. That's an honorable man right there.
I mean, yeah.
And he's handsome as fuck.
He said that Scuzz is the best looking man on Albion. God
Yeah,
bless. But
he's definitely one of the best for sure.
he's a man of his word. He said to me in the season, listen, I'm going to take the money. And at the end of the season, took the money and he stayed loyal. God bless.
I need a guild to give me all the money at the end of the season.
Now, right, yo. I mean, take care. I mean, what? Anyway,
He splits that shit though. He splits that shit. I'll be
Oh,
honest.
sure.
He splits that shit.
I'm sure. How much you
He's a good
get?
dude, man.
Yeah, how
Me?
much you get?
Nothing.
Yeah. Yo,
I ain't
what
get
am I
anything.
cut?
Yeah.
Yeah, what am I
Maybe it was
cut?
your cut.
What you mean, homie?
A good percentage of that money came from Durateen. You know how much a beetle costs?
Yeah, I've lost like 30 Beatles this season.
Yeah,
So
he's definitely. It's all the
Thankfully,
squawk.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
we have this thing called Cyrix, right?
Yeah.
And Syndic that literally just make money the whole day.
All day long.
Thank you, Cyrix. Thank you, Syndic, for supporting my habit of dying with Beatles. God bless you both.
All right, well, let's talk about the number one guild this season, and not just in points, but they were very active across all aspects of the game. They really earned this one. We make fun of them saying that it was given to them, but Maiden BR earned this. They the Sex with X guild, it did good. It did good.
I know Mojo's gonna praise him, so I'm
we'll sit back. We'll let the man get praise.
No, Durateen, you start because we're gonna end this one off on a positive.
Okay, listen. See, that's where you
get your shit out the way.
That's where you messed up, right? Because as much as half that guild hates me, right? I have nothing but positive things to say.
Well, you've seen their phones.
They've let literally no space to criticize this season. I think Maiden Brazil's from the day one to the very last day of the season, by far the best guild on Albion. The amount of dedication that went from the leadership, from their players, look how big the win was, right?
Mm-hmm.
These kids had it all. They had the crystals on lockdown. They had the open world presence on multiple times on lockdown. There was no fight that we could take in squad that we knew that Maiden BR wasn't there. And even at the end of the season, when Mojo took his little hiatus, his little sabbatical, the only reason that squad hung on, the only reason that squad just didn't get completely rolled over was Sex with X. Artista is one of, surprised me. I've met this dude a long time ago. Mojo, when Mojo first started hanging out with him, first time in the original squad, he's grown so much. Hopeweed inside, all of the leadership team. It's by far, Theos played a huge role, even if he's not there right now. Huge role. Made it Sex with X, made it BR. It is by far was the strongest guild on Albion the entire season. And even I want to shit talk you, but I can't find a reason to. So congratulations.
Durateen's a little bit like me, where it's like when he's in analyst mode, he can put that shit aside. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like, Artista is my brother. His guild literally grew up in squad, so his loyalty was always there. Like, he's been offered like billions to betray us in previous seasons. When we were fighting Money Guild, and
God knows we offered money.
And it just never happened. So it's like, at some point we were supposed to pay back that loyalty, and we did. I think we did. That's still my boy. Like with squad guilds, we never ended off in a bad note. So whenever they need me, we're gonna show up. So Artista, like his Theos helped a lot. Since Hopeweed couldn't be there this season, but Theos helped a lot. He did a great job. The GG teams did an amazing job. They showed up on multiple time zones. I know the commitment it takes to take number one in the season, and they did pretty much everything a guild needed to do. All the fields they had them covered. They have strong Brazilian princesses to keep the boys, to keep the men focused on the job.
Oi, beer. Linda.
And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. That's pretty much it. Do you guys want to give any honorable mentions to any particular guilds? Because there are a few who didn't make the top 10 this season.
Can I go first?
Sure.
I would like to congratulate the guild that is Arch, because I'm not going to group in Awful Company. I'm not going to group in specific guilds. Arch is one giant guild, and I think that people underestimate the importance of Arch for the game. Right? Arch is a place that, no matter what guild you came from, you will be accepted into Arch, and they will give you a 4-1 blood letter, and you will follow Little Liquor, and you will suicide. Arch it's an incredible organization. I have nothing but good things to say about them. What would this game be without Arch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my second honorable mention would be to obviously all the PoE guilds, obviously, but to Elevate. Elevate's a new guild coming up for the next season. I think they have a large amount of potential. I think if they can keep all the personalities in check, everyone in check, I think that guild has a very bright future. I think they have the players, the talent. They've already shown their dominance in the city GVGs. It's very good. If they can control the Zoomers, and they can convince Zerfax to give the money from the cities to the actual guild, I think we'd see a lot of good things coming out from them.
All right, not bad. That's a good shout out.
Yeah, and then just shout out to people specifically. Yo, shout out to Momono, and yo, how you doing, Wally? God bless.
You stupid. But yeah, like I mean, I was gonna say Elevate too, because we didn't get to see what they can do in the seasons, and if they're planning to win a season or go crystal, then they're gonna be motivated.
They already said they're winning. You didn't hear? They already said they're winning.
Oh, really?
Dungeon Realms literally said the only way they're not winning the season is they have to stop the kill Blue Army. Quote for quote, word for word. God bless.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if
relevant, but
I mean, I actually wouldn't be mad if Elevate won the season.
Whatever they can do to get some relevance, right? Winning a season.
They're a very relevant guild right now.
Right now,
look
yeah.
At the city.
Yeah,
look at the cities.
What people talk
And
about.
these fights aren't even close. These fights are stopped.
Oh, they've been doing very well. They've been doing some impressive work.
But yeah, other than that, then I agree with everything Durateen said. Arch is super necessary to the game, and that's pretty much it.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
Well, for my my honorable mention is going to be a deep cut. I'm going to go with Scoia'tael, actually, because I've been really impressed with just the fact that they keep showing up. I mean, they have had more ups and downs than a lot of different guilds, and they've been stuck over always playing second fiddle. It always feels like
that's not true. There was a large part of the season where Scoia'tael was our strongest Zerg.
Well, that's what I wanted to say is that like there were parts of this season that they were basically carrying Poe. They were one of the strongest ZVZ forces for them this season, and it really surprised me. And I wanted to give them a big shout out and some credit for it, because Scoia'tael is the first guild that ever beat me. My very first guild that I played in, they beat my guild so bad that my GM quit the game.
Was that in Beta 1?
Yeah. No, that was in Alpha 2. No,
Sky T forever in my heart, baby.
Sky T's still around, man. He just recently asked to get into Pony and Friends chat, our private chat. But Pony and Friends is the guild we made when he kicked us out of Vendetta. So his guild is so dead, he's trying to join the player group of friends who just chat with each other from the guild that left.
I mean, I was playing Hordes IO with Sky T.
So he's a fun guy. No, I would welcome him back, and I would love to have Vendetta back and playing. But Vendetta is the guild I joined when Scoia'tael beat Unorthodox Arena so bad that the GM quit the game. And I've heard that Unorthodox Arena is back and is a Poe guild. Is that true?
Who that?
Some very small guild.
Listen, if they're in PoE, God bless them.
Yeah.
So if they PoE, the fair one I give the new people that want to join PoE for the next season, this is a very fair one I'm giving you. Watch out for the Blanco de Rua. Yeah? These homies will friendly fire you, and it doesn't matter if you yell at them, they don't speak English, they will bomb you, they will combat loot the blue, and then when you bomb them back, they will write tickets, and you'll have to re-gear them. Don't do it, it's a trap. God bless.
They're taking the screens. They've got the screenshots ready. They got shadow play.
The second, no, listen. I'm in debt. It's a fun fact, right? I am in debt to the PoE Alliance as of right now, 179 million silver because of allies that I've accidentally killed in ZVZs. Please, if anyone out there that can fund, please save a Durateen Foundation. Please assist me in these desperate times. God bless.
All right. On that note, I think we should get out of here. Thank you guys. You guys were great. Thanks to all the teams who did so well this season. All you guilds were awesome. It was great to see this last season just be one of the most interesting seasons we've ever had. Queen kicked off with a bang, and it was just an awesome season all around. I'm looking forward to season 9. And yeah. Any predictions, guys?
I mean, I think PoE has control over the middle circle, so they'll have a strong start.
Mm-hmm.
And then two things will happen: either people will find more important shit to do than to take it back or fight for those zones, or a coalition's gonna form. you know. So it's the same cycle every time. It just changes who's doing what, who's leading what, you know, who's in power, like all that stuff changes, you know, the cycle of Albion. But you can't. Nobody can. Literally, nobody can know who's gonna win the season. It's impossible. But I know who will try. I think Hammer and Sickle will try. I think Elevate will try. I think Final Order will try. And yeah, I think those are the people to watch.
It's a good group to watch.
My prediction for the next season, obviously, I'm very biased. I think that we have positioned ourselves in a very, very strong place to contend. But with that being said, I don't think Syndic has the desire to contend for the number one place. It just depends how we're obviously going on season rank, so.
Well, you get extra battle mounts for your entire
I know,
group,
right? That's
like,
literally what I'm saying. That's literally what I was going to get to. Like, listen, I'm going to drop wisdom on you boys, right? If I somehow manage to get through the next season without getting kicked from CIR and PoE again, yeah, I'm going to win this season. You can write this down. You can quote me, fucking clip this, yeah, and bully me with it if I fuck up. But I am going to try to win this season. I'm a snake castles. I'm going to be in like 30 zones at the same time. I'm going to be everywhere. I'm going to be on comments with my allies. Okay, I engaged the Southeast Gate. And they think that I'm engaging the one castle? Nah, homie. I'm engaging the other castle with demo hammers. I'm going to try to win this season.
You're so stupid.
God bless.
This is Durateen's application to Elevate right here. That's what this is.
I would never, and you can quote me on this as well. I would, if I ever get kicked from PoE, the only person who win is Arch. I would never, ever, ever be an Elevate.
Why not?
What did he say? He said, I'm going to hit Southeast. Nah, I'm at the other castle hitting with the demolition.
I'm saying, listen, I'm engaged the Southeast Gate. Yeah, they think I'm in the zone flanking, right? Nah, homie. I'm 2 zones over hitting that outpost gate, bro. Ah! Woo! Take that money. Woo!
He's just yelling push on T-Spin.
God bless. God bless.
Oh,
real predictions. I want to contend. You can quote me on this. CIR, I want to contend. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. And on that note, we're out of here.
Yo, my bad. I got a hand sometimes, shows. My bad, bro. My bad, shows. I apologize.
For what?
Because I know I say a lot of stupid shit sometimes.